So my name's Alexa Ryan Mills, and I started my career after university in public relations and communications, working in agency and in-house, and had lots of different roles. But after 10 years, I'd had enough, and I was looking at what I could do next. And a garden designer came to my house, and I worked with her on my garden design. And I realised that this was a really interesting area to explore. And I did some research and eventually ended up doing a course at a different college, where I did a couple of years part-time and set up my own garden design business. I decided not to stick at the college where I had been, and I found out about this course and explored this and thought this is really where I wanted to be. London College of Garden Design has a really great reputation, and you hear, all about the interesting things and the great things that its graduates are doing. So it has a really high profile anyway. But what really inspired me about this course was being introduced to lots of different approaches to planting design, and not necessarily being told this is the way that you design a planting scheme, and really being given a methodology where you can use it for different projects, and being equipped to kind of work on larger schemes as well. And that's something that I really wanted to do. Throughout the course, I ended up realising that I wanted to do more planting design and working with landscape architects and other garden designers, and really specialising in that, so that the course with its approach would enable me to do that. There have been lots of changes since I graduated to my business. So I'm working as a freelancer for other garden designers who have large scale projects, larger scale than I was getting in East London in my own business. Also working with landscape architects, doing more work in commercial and public spaces, which is something that I really wanted to do. And as I'm not a trained landscape architect, I wouldn't be able to get those jobs on my own. But having done the planting design diploma here, I had the confidence to go and approach people and say, look, I've got an expertise here. Your business is growing. You don't have time to do as well as you would like to do in your planting design. Have you considered taking on a freelancer? So I've been doing that, and it's early days, but it's going well, and I'm forming good relationships, and we'll see where that goes. But I think having been on the course, I really had that confidence to do that, and thought, well, let's just push myself here and try something new. I think with the London College of Garden Design, it's a private college, so the access to different tutors, different lecturers, people coming in that you would never normally have in any other college that I know of, have the benefit to spend time with these people. People like Nigel Dunnett, for example, who, unless you're doing his landscape architecture degree in Sheffield, you're not really going to spend a whole day with him, And I learned so much from him, and that really inspired a lot of my work in my final project. I found at my previous college, we were taught one way of doing things. As someone who's kind of, I've been to university, and we are taught to kind of say, there are lots of ways of doing things, and you will find your right approach. And I felt that this college offers that. That you can hear from lots of different people and learn and adapt how you approach planting design, and that's not really encouraged at the college that I was at before. I also really enjoyed the opportunities, although it was hard work, the tutorials, where we had tutors visiting, and we'd spend whole days going through our different projects, and we were often put on the spot, and it was challenging. But it made all our projects better, and we learnt so much from each other as well. And I think there's less time for that at some other colleges. I also feel that once you've graduated from London College of Garden Design, you're not forgotten. You still have those relationships, still stay in touch with my tutors. I'm opened, I have opportunities to do things that I wouldn't have had opportunities to do that come from Andrew, for example. He'll ask me, do you want to do this talk somewhere, or do you want to help me at the Chelsea Flower Show? You don't get those at lots of other colleges, so that's really important. I really enjoyed the camaraderie and the fun in the class. I think we really gelled well together. We had people from all over Italy, USA, and then people from all over the UK as well. And that was great because we learnt a lot from each other, and we all had different backgrounds. So some of us were landscape architects, others garden designers, of different kind of experiences. So that's been really great, and I've made some really good friends from the course. I actually really genuinely enjoyed all the assessments. I spent a lot of time on them, but I learnt so much doing them, and I felt supported while I was doing them too. I didn't feel like I was kind of left to my own devices, because we had all these sort of tutorial sessions to kind of build on our coursework. And there weren't we didn't have lots and lots of different pieces of coursework. I think there were 3, which meant that you could really spend time on them, and you weren't kind of rushing to get the next one finished, and they built upon each other. So I actually genuinely, I'm a bit of a geek, but I did love the assessments. Every week was different because we had different tutors coming. You weren't tutors and lecturers. You didn't just have one lecturer that you just saw constantly. Much as he's great, I didn't see Andrew just every time. It kind of meant that you'd hear from different people. There'd be a different approach, and that kept it really interesting. So I would advise any student thinking about coming on this course to book an appointment to meet Andrew, and so he can answer any questions you have, and you can find out more about it. For me, it's a no-brainer. It's really, really helped my business.